Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel. And so, Saturday we get the formal release for the new Horus Heresy. I know many aren't that excited about it, but this does come to question for me, how many people who have been complaining about it are still going to go out, buy it, and play it? Now, I'll be honest with you, I am buying the rule set, but I'm doing this so I can give you guys a good review. I can talk about it and tell you what, an actual objective review of it rather than just someone absolutely hating on it for hating on its sake or, a Games Workshop shill. But I would say, given what we know about Horus Heresy, it would definitely be time to try something else. And well, I'm only going to stick to big army battles here because otherwise I'll just say Wild West Exodus straight away. But I've got to try and avoid saying that for the right reasons. Again, battle games. And I think the thing is, I've got to say it's not like we're not spoiled with choice. I'm only going to do games I play anyway. And so the first one, and I've got to go this first, and it is Firefight by Mantic. Now, Mantic are getting really good with their plastic. I gotta say, they're bringing some of the tightest, nicest plastic out I've seen in a long while. And before anyone says, oh, Games Workshop plastic is better, no, they use the same plastic as Games Workshop, and their sculpting is getting so much better as well. So that is now not a reason not to get Mantic. One of the biggest reasons to go into Mantic is obviously the price. It is a lot cheaper than Games Workshop, and well, it's true. You can get a decent army set for Firefight for about £100, and it's pretty much double what you'd get for Combat Patrol. You tend to get nice big vehicles and a flyer. You get a nice HQ choice. You get a nice variation of units. These are the things that I would always say is great for a starting army, rather than just lots and lots of troops, and that's it. Which is one thing Games Workshop seems to be doing a lot, rather than having a nice choice and variation of units in a combat patrol. So there is that, but there's also this law behind it as well. See, in my opinion, it sounds weird, but the Mantic law, and there is plenty of novels out there, check their website. There's loads you can download for free as well. I like Firefight law because it feels a lot more realistic and dark at the same time. Grimdark is cool, don't get me wrong, but the whole theological dictatorship it is, bureaucracy, everything like that, just seems a bit more far-fetched. I mean, it's good for what it is, it's enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but Mantic does it better with Firefight because it's about humans being controlled by evil corporations and giving today, basically, this seems to be far more realistic than anything else. To quote Fight Club, planets will be named Starbucks after corporations. That's a paraphrasing, by the way, but you know what I mean. Having this idea that corporations are controlling and doing things behind your back, such as creating plagues and stuff like that, it seems far more scary and darker than theocratic dictatorship and the Inquisition. To me, it feels scarier. And the box set, let's just talk about the starting box set. There's 3 starting box sets. Mantic does this a lot. I think they're very good for it. And what they do is they do different box sets, different starter sets with different armies. You have the Marauders and the Enforcers in one. This is a good box set for people who want just a plain infantry. It's kind of let down because it's mostly infantry, but it is the first one, and you can say, okay, fine, whatever it is. Then you have the Eldar version, and I've got their name, and the demons, the horrors. So you have the demons of the warp, basically, and the way they're completely different. Basically, science messing about where science shouldn't be messing about. We're talking sort of Event Horizon here. Variant other one, and there's a lot more variation. There's a couple of big models in there. You got a nice little choice of models as well. It's great for both armies. You're not just stuck with like the original one, like the first one, which is lots of Marauders and lots of Enforcers, just lots of the same. You do actually have nice variation here. And the final one, which I think is the best, is the Veermen versus the Forge Fathers. You get a tank for Forge Fathers, you get bikes and stuff for the Veermen. you get a nice selection of units in that box. And the fact is, they're all under 100 quid each, and you're going to have a good time. The rules are a lot better than what Game Workshop produces. They are better games, and the models are fun and fun to build. There's so much creativity with Mantic, and I think it is kind of a time to start going elsewhere rather than just sticking with Games Workshop. Complaining about a company and then continue supporting that company always feels a bit weird to me. It seems not quite hypocritical, but almost like pardon what I'm about to say, but it's more like an abuse victim. And with Stockholm Syndrome, you're stuck, but you can continue allowing to do what they do. Anyway, so that's Mantic. Now the other one is one-page rules. Now one-page rules, like Mantic, the Firefight rules are free. The rules are free. They have one page. It's very simple. It's really cool. It's really fun. The lore is pretty cool. I've got to really start diving deeper into that. And you can use your old Games Workshop models for it. It was pretty much designed to use GW rule models for this game. And a lot of people do, but you can use other models. So you can build your army. You can choose whatever force you want and just build your army as ever you wish. You could use Warlord Games, Bolt Action. You can use Astartes. You can use Wild West Exodus, Tesla Bots, whatever. Long as it's that scale, you're going to be able to play these games. You can even use Mantic models if you wish. So that's the other option, one-page rules. Now, the lot of complaints are always going to be like, oh, well, what if I can't find anyone to play? Oh, I don't want to get models. The thing is, with Mantic, Firefight, and one-page rules, you can get people to play the games with their GW models. They're the same scale, and a lot of them have very similar characteristics. You've got the Enforcers, which are going to be your Space Marines, Marauders or Orcs, Forge Fathers or Squats, and stuff like that. So they can still use their GW models to get into the game, and then branch out and buy, Mantic models. And again, if you're in a position where you're just sick and tired of complaining about Games Workshop, maybe it's time for you to move on and try something else, and actually play something that you're going to enjoy. And given the fact that the Firefight rules are free and the one-page rules are free as well, there's very little reason not to do this. You've got your models which you can use, and you just use them in these other games, and then start buying the models for Mantic, or start buying the game models, or printing your own models for one-page rules. Well, you can print your models for Mantic as well. They do an STL service. So these are the two games I would suggest to start going if you want to play big games like this, and you want to start going away from Games Workshop, because I think this is the best bet for you. And it also helps the wargaming hobby, because you're no longer just focusing on one company. Many other companies means you're building the marketplace up a lot more, and there's a lot more competition, and it means other companies are going to try harder to stay on top. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all again in the next one. But if you wish to save money on your Mantic, they have it there. They have plenty of it. Go to Wayland Games down below, and you can save up to 20% off and free delivery after £20. There's also Forbidden Planet for movies, DVDs, mangas, comics, Blu-rays, all that really cool stuff. There's my merchandise, my comics and stickers and t-shirts. They're all down below. Skyforge, let's just give them a click, give them a Google algorithm, and then finally Patreon, because business. Bye-bye.